Yeah, a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you. We are happy to be back on the Relationship and Marriage Hour. And I am Dr. Marie MacDonald, and my co host is Dr. Alvin Hepburn. And we are happy to be with you to talk about should in laws call before visiting. And Doc, it may seem a pretty simple topic or
Mm-hmm.
vague, however you may see it, but it's one that often or can cause contention in the marriage or in the relationship. Because if you have someone that is constantly popping in on you unannounced, that can be disruptive for that individual, especially if they have plans, if they are doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it seems as though it's a simple thing, it can create a big fire. So we want to look at this topic to see how we can help to bring a resolution in the event that it comes up or it's happening in your relationship. So we hope that the persons that can benefit will be listening because there are some little things. We often sing a song growing up, it only take a spark. And if
Yeah.
you are popping up unannounced at a family's home, and if they are already walking on thin ice, it creates a bigger problem. So, Dr. Alvin, I personally believe generally that people do not mind having visitors, but it's how you going to show up. Are you going to call in advance, or are you just going to pop up? So let's see what we can unwrap from this topic that would be able to help those persons that feels that it's okay. That's my brother. That's my sister. I can pop up as I wish. No, you can't. So, Dr. Alvin, give us your thought on how you feel about this um, because it's family. I may want to pop up to my brother, and it's because he's my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he is married. He has a family, so it's not as easy for me. But sometimes it's hard for us to understand. You cannot just pop up because it's your brother,
Mm-hmm.
um, unless there is a communication with husband and wife, and they said it's okay. She can come anytime she wish. I have no problem. But if you didn't get that invitation, then let's do it the right way. Dr. Alvin, give us your thought on how you feel about popping up unannounced.
Um, I feel like popping up unannounced is, and if that's a regular thing, that is disrespectful. For one, you are not respecting the sanctity of that house, and you are not obeying or coming into agreement with what the standards are at that house. When I do my marriage counseling, and when you mentioned this topic to me, my mind went to Genesis chapter 2, and in the latter part of that chapter, Genesis chapter 2 says, "For this cause must a man leave father and mother and cleave to his wife, and them two should become one flesh." When I do my marriage counseling, I tend to stop there for a few minutes to let them know that what is happening here is that the man is bringing his culture, his environment, his background. The woman is bringing the exact same thing, her culture, her environment, her background, and you're trying now to mesh them together. You're trying to bring them together so you can form for your children, for your offspring, a new culture, a new background, a new environment. And in doing that, that takes time. And in forming that, Your family and my family needs to respect that and allow us to do what we have to do. And I think that popping up unannounced, um, and Doc, I even go this far. Even if we say to family members, come anytime, that really don't mean come anytime. That's come anytime within a certain parameter. Why are you coming to my house 2, 3 o'clock in the morning unannounced? Why?
Mm,
Um, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law have keys to our house, but even those keys, I don't give them the license to come anytime. When they
that's strange.
come, they let us know that they are coming.
Hmm.
And the keys is okay, you going to get something and we are not home, then you could just go and get it. But you still call, they still call and ask, well, you have this at your house that I need, can I go get it?
Hmm.
So so there is no just calling, no lack of not calling and just showing up. No, that's not, no,
Hmm.
that should not be. Mind you, at occasions, Doc, that do happen. Like you could have went to visit someone and you're in the neighborhood. But I find that even then, we get a call. I'm in your neighborhood. Is it okay for us to swing round? And the thing,
Yeah,
Doc, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Because it's
Yes.
very staticky on my end. I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think though that that problem is resolved when husband and wife are on the same page.
Yes.
And it's up to me to tell my siblings, my parents, my cousins, and my family, you can't just pop up here. Call and let us know.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing with Tanya. It's on her to let her family know. Listen, don't just pop up here.
Hmm.
Call us and let us know that you're coming, so we can prepare for you.
Yes. And Doc, you said a whole lot. Culture difference.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're trying now to set your perimeters. You're trying now to build your family, like you said initially. So it takes now adjustments. So you have to now adjust from being free and open, come as you wish, come when you please. You're trying now to change that concept. So the culture difference will also cause friction. Reason being is that the family, some of them may not understand. Look, we are trying now to do something different. Please call before you come. It's not that
Yes.
we're saying that we are too good to have you come, because usually people feel that the reason you're telling them that it's because they feel that you're trying to say I'm now moved to another level, I'm better than you. No, but it's setting boundaries. And generally people do not like boundaries. They love that freedom. We are coming, we come in the party, and you have friends like that as well. When you were single, your friends could pop into you anytime. But when you become a married man, a married woman, you don't have that freedom like that anymore. So it's also adjusting to a period, an adjusting period for your friends, your family, everyone, because you must now realize you cannot pop into their home as you please. So I love the fact that you mention it. The culture makes a difference. And sometimes it's
Mhm,
not
mhm,
easy to be broken, Dr. Alvin. It's not easy to be broken from one side or the other. But persons
mhm,
would have to continue to let it be known. If you come in, just give me a call before you come. Can you
mhm.
imagine? You are in the middle of some business, you have certain guests that you have, you know, you didn't want any interruption. So you can imagine friends or families popping in. It's a disruption. And it could be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It could very
Yes, it
well be,
can.
you know. So families must understand that yes, you're my family, nothing has changed. But because we are now setting our boundaries, because we are now adjusting our lives to have it the way we want it,
Mm-hmm.
this is why this have to be done. You're
Mm-hmm.
not dealing with a single person anymore, but you're dealing with two. And there has to be an understanding that it's no longer the way it used to be. So I feel that families should respect the wishes of their children. If,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you they don't, you're not invited to come on a Tuesday, and you're
Mm-hmm.
off on a Tuesday. So why can't I come on a Tuesday? I'm off. I don't have anything to do. No, respect the boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and make it easy for your children. You
Yeah.
know, and Doc, I believe you can find some of the parents that are pushing to this point.
Mm-hmm.
They are pushing because they believe that you're my child. I should be able to see you whenever I want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, and too, Doc. Um, huh, I noticed it, and I'm so grateful. Growing up, my father would say, "There's only one man and one woman in this house. Whenever you feel like you's man and woman, you go in your get your own house, get your own key, um, and you run your house." And I've noticed, Doc, that all of the times my parents has visited me here at my house in Nassau, they go nowhere unless I give them the okay. When they first reach, I have to say to them, "This is the room that you will be staying in. This is the bathroom that you're using. Let's walk. That's the kitchen. If there's anything that you need, you go to the kitchen and get. If I don't that's being with them, they will sit in the front room and don't move.
and they respect boundaries. They
Yes.
certainly did respect the
Mhm.
boundaries.
But you have some
You know, sometimes
you you have some family members though, dog. They go in the house even before you reach there. Same thing here. Lightning and thundering. Yeah. Came on bad.
that was yeah, that one was
Yeah.
loud. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What is this?
so the thing is though, I find out, Doc, and you correct me if you think I'm wrong, that people who have experienced it know how to do it. And and what I mean by that is I have very little to say to my siblings when it comes to how Alvin runs his house. Reason being, because when I go to their house, they expect a certain level of respect as well. And all I got to say
Exactly.
to them is the same way you want me to respect you in your house, respect me in mine.
Exactly.
I I
Exactly.
can't just come, jump in you and your wife bed and lay down between y'all and carry on like
No,
we used to lay in bed when we was children. Because
no.
those days are over.
Yes. Yes. And
You're yeah.
that's a topic for another day because these are things that Dr. Alvin causes problems in relationship. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's your sister, that was your best friend, but now she's mine. Like you say, I can't just jump in your bed, lie down in your bed, and, you know, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
guest room, but not your matrimonial bed. No,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I think it has to do a lot with the culture that we're in. Western
Mm-hmm.
side of the world, we grew up, you know, in our side of the world, we grew up close knitted, Alvin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're close knitted. So it's so easy for people to feel that it's okay for me to pop in and visit. This takes adjustment
Mm-hmm.
for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, they do not understand that,
Yeah.
we just do not pop up, we just don't do certain things. It just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, to help, because here are some of the problems that can arise. And I mentioned it as at the beginning. If that relationship is already on thin ice, and every time they try to sit and resolve it, some family member pops up. What
Mm-hmm.
it does,
Wow.
causes it causes that relationship to keep breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps breaking down because one party is going to get upset. Every time
Mm-hmm.
you sit to talk, your family have to interrupt. And it was a simple thing, but because there are already problems, then it makes it big, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that that is why families must respect their children's wishes or their brother or their sister's wish. Don't just pop up. Call me,
Mm-hmm.
let me know I'm coming. Even if you are around the corner, just call. Hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Is it okay for me to pop in? And there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to help the relationship, especially even if it's no problem. Some people, your unannounced causes problem. It causes problems because every time you want to be private, you have visitors. So
Uh-huh.
that's where boundary comes in. That's
Yes.
where the boundary comes in. And you know, like I said, from the East, this Western culture, there was hardly any boundaries. People just do what they want, and it was good because we love company because we thrive on having someone, you know, come to the
Mm-hmm.
house at times, and especially if you're not seeing anyone. But now
Yeah.
that you're married, the first thing I believe that a young couple or those in relationships should do is set the boundaries that you want. And that's why it's so important, Doc, prior to getting married, the couple sit down and find out what is okay for you. You may be fine with your family popping in. I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you would do is sit down and determine what is it you like, what I don't like. And if we do that, Doc, when you are in the relationship, you're married, he will know that, oh boy, she doesn't like when guest comes unannounced. So he will then be helping her or helping his family not to come and cause an embarrassment. But if they didn't sit down at the onset and determine what is okay and what is not okay, then when these things start happening, then you're trying to do damage control, but the of a damage that has already been done. You know, so you know boundaries, boundaries, Doc.
Boundaries are needed. They are needed,
That's
though.
what we need. Yes,
Yeah.
and simple too. Communication, the communication to know what, as I've said, what you like and what you don't like. So, Doc, how should a family then handle? There are some a couple. How should a couple handle a family that is defiant and refuses to call before visiting? Should they simply ignore the call, ignore the knocking, and just let them go about their business? How should this be handled? Because
Yes.
I'm sure this has been it happened with some. I've heard it happening. You know. So how do you think a couple should deal with such person?
Wow. Doc. Hold on. Wow. That was lightning. I had to wait for that. That's thunder. I had to wait for that to pass. It is ringing over here. But boundaries, Doc, needs to be established. We got to establish those boundaries. And I dare say in any relationship, if you have family members who do not want to respect your boundaries, then you have to do that next step and forbid them around. Because now in a marriage, it is husband and wife. We are setting our, in other words, we don't need any other drama, any other stress, any other situations that we need to deal with. So, if I say to you, um, don't call my house after 9, only in cases of emergency, then respect that. If you have anything that you need to do it between those times. If I say you could come to my house on Sundays, but you have to be gone by 5 o'clock. If you can't abide by that, then my house is not the only house in Nassau. There are thousands of houses in Nassau. There are thousands of other family members. Um, so you can go there, you can see them, you can hang out with other family members. Like I something happened, Doc, and I responded to a particular cousin after 9 o'clock, right? Because I checked my WhatsApp late that night and I responded after I saw her message. I responded after 9. The following morning, she sends me a WhatsApp saying, "Listen, um, what time after 8 o'clock and before 6 o'clock, don't send her any messages." So I said, "Okay, that's fine. I don't need to send you any message. That's your boundaries." But then too, she needs to understand her setting her boundaries. I set mine too. So if I decide not to respond to you anymore, then that's me. I make up my eyes, man, use woman, you do what you want to do, I do what I want to do. So those things happen. Um, but
Definitely.
I do think, Doc, that husband and wife needs to work forming their culture. Boy, Doc, I could hear it ringing over there by you too. Um,
Yes.
they need to set their culture and they need to stick with it and they need to work it. And anybody else who comes to try to change their culture or try to circumvent what they have set aside for them, then that's a conversation. Listen, if you can't agree with what we're trying to do in this environment, then we don't need you around. And those are going to be hard conversations because you aren't talking to persons who you don't know. You are talking to people who you grow up with, who fought for you in primary school, who protected you in high school, who when you didn't have lunch money gave you lunch money, or when you was hungry they cooked for you. But everybody needs to understand that in the forming of new culture, you need to leave those two people alone and let them do their due. Doc, what makes me so happy when I look at my marriage is Tanya and I got married actually July 30th. So this year, well, this month will make 20 years we've been married. We got married July 30th. And by August 5th, which is less than a week, we were in our apartment in St. Louis, Missouri. And the first visitors we got from the Bahamas was the following year, August maybe, somewhere around in August. So, so we basically had almost an entire year together, just her and me doing what we needed to do to establish ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think that lends to even us now and our relationship now, because in those um early years, most of my time was spent with Tanya. Most of her time was spent with me. Um, we went to school, went to church, and we came home. The only time we was not together was when we were in our classes. All the other rest of the times, it was
Mm-hmm.
Tanya and me.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think that we need to afford that to persons so that they can do what they have to do.
Yes. That is good. I remember recall from my marriage. Actually, the very first day, that evening of the wedding, or was it the next day? We had visitors, and listen, preparing for weddings is not easy. It's a
You
lot of
had
work. So
visitors?
we had visited the very first, but listen, I was knocked out. I was sleeping. I
Yes.
could not entertain. But it's to
Mhm.
show you when you have families that used to popping in all the time, they feels it's okay. So then that's where it has to be a unified front with both of
Mhm.
you saying, look, we appreciate you coming, but right now this is
This
not the
ain't the
time.
right.
But
Yeah.
luckily for us, I was asleep. I think both of us we were asleep, and we knew after the fact that they were there.
Hmm.
But we cannot, I don't know. With that, in that case, we slept. We honestly were asleep. But
Uh-huh.
is it right then, Dr. Alvin, if you constantly get unannounced visitors, is it right for you not to answer the door?
Um, Doc, see, this is me, and this is how I will answer this one. I can answer the door, and I can tell you, listen, this behavior, stop it. Stop coming around my house unannounced. Call before you come, and we'll let you know whether you can. Um, but if they continue to come around my house, dog, of course, after I didn't warn them and they still continue to come, then I feel no obligation to have to explain to them. No, that's not allowed. And
Hmm.
sometimes, like my mother would say, Alvin, sometimes you have to show people what you're saying.
That's it.
So,
That
so, and I am so bold, doc. They can come knock on my door, and I'll go look through the window and watch them look at me, looking at them, and I'll close my curtain back, and I go do what I have to do, because it seemed like me telling you didn't get through. So maybe I need to show you
yes.
that listen, you can't just pop up here. This ain't your house. Now, if you was paying
Hmm.
my mortgage or you was paying my light bill or something like that, then fine. You could come anytime. Like I say, doc, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they got key to my house and they don't come when they feel like.
Okay.
When
And
they
that
come,
is
they
good.
pick up the phone and they call.
Right. Right. Because the fact that they're constantly coming and they are not hearing you, it's putting a strain on your marriage.
Yes.
So then you have to take the lead as man in the house, because it's going to make you look bad to your wife. You have no control over your family. So I can understand how much confusion that can cause. Because at the end of the day, if you are telling them, look, I don't want you to come unless you call, and your wife is seeing or your husband is seeing something different, automatically they feel you can't control that family member. And it can
Mhm.
also blow out. And then it can cause verbal back and forth with
Altercations.
that
Yes.
person.
Hmm.
Right, you see? So therefore, um, I believe if they don't get the message, I like what you say, but I don't know if I am as bold as you are. But I will not answer the door.
Hmm.
I will not answer the door,
Hmm.
right? And they will know that we are there because they will hear that we are there. And I
Hmm.
trust that they would get the message. Now, what's going to happen after that? Well, depending on how close they are in terms of being family,
Hmm.
if that's mom, if that's dad,
Yeah.
the argument then can go on. If that's mom and she constantly comes and disobey, they can say, well, persons may be saying, well, that's mom, you shouldn't do it.
But but
Now,
this is my
not
thing though.
all mom.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Mhm. Go ahead.
You froze for a little bit, but this is my thing. If my mother, God rest her soul, if my mother wants me to respect her and her house, so when I go there, I can't do what I want to do and all of that, then why does she think that she could come in my house and disrespect me in mine? Because
Mm.
she is mother. That means then that she don't understand how the system works. She
Hmm.
don't understand how what she's teaching, boy, is what she needs to follow, because there can only be, like my father would say, one man and one woman in a house. So when my father comes
Yes,
to my house, yes, my father is still a man, but he's not the man of my house. So because he's not the
exactly.
man of my house, he doesn't have authority to go everywhere in my house. If I say to anyone,
Exactly.
you can't go there, then and Doc, this is something that I even realized too. Tanya and I, we were talking about it, and I came to this revelation. I would say I don't even have to explain myself. I don't have to tell you why I don't want you to go in that room. It's my room. Don't go in it. You or why? Because I said so.
Mm.
Your house, your rules. When you
Yes,
come to my house, my rules. Go
yes.
where I give you permission to go. If I don't give you permission to go, you just stand at the door and you wait.
Hmm. Totally agree. But now I hope those that are listening, I wish our listening audience would weigh in on this topic because there, Dr. The reality is there. Because it's mom, people feel, well, may feel that, you can't treat mom like that. But if
Mhm.
mom is defying your instructions, like you say, she is woman in her house, and
Mhm.
you're now married, you have a
Mhm.
spouse. So mom has no longer the authority in your house. And as harsh as it may seem, though, that's the reality. Mom must follow and obey your rules for your house.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if you tell her you cannot come every day, you cannot just pop in when you feel, and it is nothing personal. And there are persons who are dealing with parents that are very stubborn in the area, and they don't know how to handle it because they don't want to be appear or may not want to appear rude to mom or dad. But then they have to pull the parents. I think the spouse, husband and wife, they have to pull that parent in and talk to that parent. And if they refuse to obey, then you really have a problem.
Mhm.
But like you say, You just can't just pop into another man's house and
Yeah,
take control.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But Doc, my father makes this statement. Um, People is play crazy, tell crazy reach. And what do I mean by that? Um, and another statement that we make here in the Bahamas, hog know right where to rub his skin.
hmm,
And
that's an ancient phrase.
what we mean by that is um, they'll run over you because they know you let them run over you and
Wow.
you can do nothing. But if you have that conversation with your mother, with your father, with your siblings, then case in point, dog, and 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 you know my brother, he came and he visited us one time, and when he came and he visited, he saw me, and I've told this story many times, but I think it is appropriate here because we may have some people listening who've never heard us here before.
Right.
And he came and he saw me in the kitchen. I cooked breakfast and I took up his food and I took up the wife food, took up the children food and carried it to them and all that type of stuff. And he got really angry. Alvin, what you doing? I said, what you mean? Man, you's the man in this house. Your wife inside there laying down and you can't have breakfast and bread. No, man, she's supposed to be out here cooking your food. She's supposed to be doing, and he run on and he run on and he run on of how it should be done. And I listened. Mind you, that's the way we grow up. I know what we grow up under. And after he was finished, I said, okay, now, my time to talk. I said to him, how you run your house, that's between you and your wife.
Hmm.
You are not going to come in my house and break up my happy home. This is how me and my wife, we have discussed this, and this is how we say we can run this, and this is how we can run this. And if you don't like this,
Wow.
you don't have to come back here.
Wow. Wow.
But as
So
long as
that's
you here,
mhm,
how I run my house is how I run my house. How
that's
you
right.
run yours, you run yours that way. That ain't got nothing to do with me because
Mhm,
I gotta lay on the side of that woman, not you.
that's
What
right.
we decide to do is what we will do, and that was that.
Very good.
Last time he opened his mouth and tell me this is what you supposed to do, but he came by my house many times after that, and we had a good time. And that's what I say. You need to
Yeah.
put your foot down. Tell them these are my boundaries. But if you cannot abide by my
Yes.
boundaries, then brother, I love you. I can meet you down at Fish Fry. I can meet you down at that place, but you ain't coming to my house. Because if you can obey
Exactly.
the laws of my house, then you are not welcome.
Yes. That's powerful. That's powerful. And all of that is right because, you know, that's your castle, that's your home. This is how
Mm-hmm.
you want it run. So we have to obey, we have to respect, I should say, another man's home. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you're mama, your daddy, your brother, or sister, we have to respect their home. And Beth out of Georgetown, Guyana is saying, in this modern era, a notification to visit is the right thing to do. It is the
Yes.
right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is the right
Because
thing.
you don't know what people plan. So suppose me and the wife has planned that the day we're taking the children out swimming, we doing a family event,
Yeah,
or this is vacation time. What if we just say we just want us to just stay home and watch movies all day, whatever we decide to do, and you're gonna just come and interrupt that and expect us to put the attention on you? No, that's
yeah,
you are not a part of
yeah.
that planning. It doesn't work that way. The world
But
doesn't center or evolve around you.
yes,
Hmm.
but Doc, there are some spouses that
Hmm.
are afraid to tell their family members, do not come. How do we deal with those spouses? because it's causing strain on that marriage. When you cannot open your mouth and let them know, do not come.
Doc, I thank God for my wife because she told her family the reason why I tell Alvin to pick this house far away from where y'all live is because I don't want y'all coming around all the time. I didn't
Wow.
have to say anything.
Yes. Okay.
and and my immediate family don't even live on this island. They live in Grand Palma, so I ain't gotta worry about that
So you have no
happening.
problem.
Yeah, I have no problem. So if there's anything, it would be from her side of the family. But she didn't give them, she didn't tell them this is how it running. Um, y'all want come
Right.
call, let us know. Or you may come and we may not be home. And we may be home and we may not
Hmm.
answer the door. See, and that's where husband and wife
Wow.
needs to be on the same page. And I would say,
Yes.
is boy, who best to talk to your family but you?
Yes.
And you should not put your spouse in any position that they have to talk to your siblings.
Right.
That should be on you because
And
you know them.
okay.
You should know the best approach to relate to them how this our situation working.
Hmm. And
So
that is true.
yeah, so that person who who is struggling with a spouse letting their family know what the deal is, like we say here in the Bahamas, then you need to have a conversation with them and ask them who is priority, whose feelings is priority,
Hmm.
because some persons may not want to have that conversation with family members because they don't want to hurt their family members feelings. But
Yeah.
listen, my feelings are being hurt. I'm
Hmm.
feeling violated. So talk to them in this way? So whose feelings is more important? Whose
Hmm.
feelings should you be trying to protect? Because I thought when you tell me you're going to go marry me, then that you really want to help me and protect my feelings. So I'm not saying don't try to protect your mother's feelings, but your mother's feelings should not supersede mine.
Hmm.
Not in
That
our
is
relationship. So sit down
horrible.
and get a backbone and say to mom, I love you, but you can't come round by my house whenever you feel like coming. We
Mm.
need to know. And mom, if you can't respect that, then don't come. I'll come here and see
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Yes.
So so those are conversations
So
that must be had.
yeah, and we have our listener from Nigeria, Ogan. He's saying this is a well topic to be discussed. My relationship ended when my in-laws ignored my pleadings. That should
Oh
never
wow.
happen. That's serious. That should
Yeah.
never happen. So,
Yeah.
um, um, you know, sometimes the child may be so devoted and committed to mom or dad, but according to the Bible, that you quoted at the beginning, Doc, that that's the reason a man should leave mother and father and cleave to his wife. Your obligation then is to your spouse. And
Hmm.
if you see the family coming in or the in-laws coming in is going to cause a problem with your relationship as the man or in the home, depending on which side of the family it is you would speak, right? But you should be able to let your parents know without any guilt that look, this is not a good time. We don't want you to just pop up as you wish. But the problem there, Doc, is that some of the men they are so committed to mom, they don't want to give that let them know that they can't do it. But
Hmm.
when the wife have to step in and do it herself, they see her as the bad girl. She's not nice and all of this.
Hmm.
But it is a conversation that he should have with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
But when the wife have to deal with it, it causes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where both parties should come together, speak with one voice.
Mm-hmm.
And when that is done, if that husband is the one that is afraid to talk, it's not. You get together and talk with one voice talk. I
Yeah.
believe things can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if he's being afraid to talk to his mother, and this is where the problem is, or she with her mother, then you will always have a problem. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Ogun, that's where their relationship ended because in-laws refused to, you know, make the call. We have another listener from Toronto saying, unless there is a problem which may have been reported to the in-laws, that is where the problem may lie.
Mm-hmm.
This is Keisha from Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But Doc,
that
um, when when well, from my background, my spiritual background and stuff, and also my family background, my grandfathers on both my mother and father's side, they all were alcoholics. So in my brought up scene and in my life, I decided that I will not drink alcohol.
that's good.
So when the wife and I got married, because she don't drink alcohol like that, we decided that listen, that's how we're gonna live. Now, that being said, we having a gathering at my house, and we're planning it. And I said to Tanya, I said, let your people know that no alcohol is to be at my house. I don't want it around. If they're gonna drink it, don't let them even bring it on my property. Okay,
Hmm.
I think she let them know that because when the party started happening, people like, oh no, hit nothing here. We at Rev House and we ain't doing that. But I saw
Good.
one of the family members come in with a bottle. I look at the wife, and the wife look at me, and being the Alvin that I am, I say that's not allowed. No, sir. Oh man, it's just a bottle, man. I like, listen, take you and your bottle off my property.
Awesome.
So you could go out in the road and drink it. Throw the bottle and I even say this to and this is to my brother-in-law. I said, don't even throw that bottle in my garbage. Throw it in the neighbor own. And then you can come in.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And and from then, when they saw the stance that I took, okay, we ain't having no more parties by rep. Fine with me. You don't
Very
gotta have
good.
no party by me. But if you can have a party by me, you can obey the rules of my house. Because when I go to pay my mortgage, you ain't there saying Alvin here.
Hmm.
So you
That's
don't
right.
run this house.
Yeah.
And see,
Yeah.
sometimes if if the if the person is having issues talking to their family members, then I feel like okay, you want to do it, I can do it. I don't care how I look in their eyes.
But it's
Uh,
gonna be said.
it has to be said because
Yeah.
we are trying to create a culture here. Because I know, Doc, what I'm fighting,
Yes.
and then sometimes things may you may fight it for you, and then you're fighting it for you. You forget your children them.
That's right.
And I don't want my children them being like my grandparents.
No. No.
So let me do the best I can to shun them from that environment.
Very
And
good.
that's what we do. And even after that, I had to have a conversation with the wife and I said, listen, when you go by your mother them, my children don't be round. They ain't let my children taste no rum. They no. I said, please listen, don't let me gotta come there.
Hmm.
Because like I told you earlier, people is play crazy, tell crazy reach.
Yeah. So, that is good, but we have to be uh, intentional. We have to be firm
Yes.
with our stand in our
Yeah.
position.
Yes.
And sometimes one of the spouse may be the one that is too weak, and the
Mm-hmm.
one that may not be too weak it may not be her side of the family because they will
Mm-hmm.
understand, or
Uh-huh.
his side of the family. When it falls to the other side, then it's not going to look good. And as
Mm-hmm.
our listener said, sometimes there may be problems that may have been reported or given to the other side of the family, and
Mm-hmm.
now that is just stern every time. But that is why it's important for this relationship to have open communication,
Mm-hmm.
and what goes on in there stays in there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not to be reported to mommy or daddy unless you're simply saying, Mom, this is what we do not wish for you to do. But in
Mm-hmm.
terms of just thinking she don't want y'all come, no, that should never be taken to the parents like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a
Yeah.
matter she doesn't want you or he doesn't want you to come. It is we prefer you calling before you come.
Mm-hmm.
See, because you can deliver that message, but the way you deliver it, it causes more problems.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
agree with Keisha. Take it the way you should as the man or the woman in the home. Take it the way, you know. Don't make it
Mm-hmm.
seem as though you trying to stir up a problem in the relationship. And as
Mm-hmm.
simple as that may seem, that could be the straw to
Powerful.
break the camel's and
Yeah.
cause that marriage to end. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the spouses, you relationship, you have to do it together.
Mm-hmm.
It
Now,
cannot be just
too.
right.
We
Hmm.
we 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 talking this, and we're talking this. I think in a particular arena, and let me say what I mean by that. According to what Keisha is saying here, if I hear that my daughter is being abused in her house, oh yeah, I can show up every now and again. I can show up every now and
Now
again.
that's a
That's different.
mhm.
And I showing up so
Yeah.
you could know, uh, baby girl, daddy, right round the corner. And
Hmm.
if you mess with her, you're messing with me.
The dog, that depends on what extent. Now
No,
that depends.
when I say
Still,
that,
you still intruding.
no, you don't hit my girl.
No, I agree with that, but
You
it
don't
may
hit
not
her.
be a hit. It may not be a hit. It may be a verbal, back and
Oh
forth.
well, those no, but that's different. No, see, and that is what I'm saying. If I get wind of the
Yeah,
fact of there is physical abuse, then my
yeah,
daughter or my son, because see, sometimes we think only women get physically abused, but boy,
yeah,
men get oh Lord, men get beat up too. Uh,
yes,
um,
yes,
then when I hear that, my children need to know that there is still a safety net for them.
yeah,
But if you're gonna
yeah,
stay there, still know that daddy got you covered. Daddy got your
yes.
back.
Or you're only a phone call away.
Yes, or I'm only a phone call away.
Yeah,
But even in that dog, there is still I'm still going to respect the house. I still
yeah,
have to respect the house. I am
exactly.
not going to disrespect the house,
Yes.
but there's going to have to be some talks.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's really important, Doc, for relationships because as simple as this topic may seem, it can cause a relationship, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
our listening audience, listening person has indicated that. So, one of the things we want to send out to parents, and I pray that some of our parents would be listening, is if your child comes to you, and even if the husband take it to the mother or vice versa, do not be offended. because they're trying things. They're trying now to be independent. Do you realize that some kids are so reliant on their parents, they can't make
Mhm.
decisions for themselves? And that is not
Mhm.
good. So when your child is taking the initiative to be in charge of their own home, work with them, help them.
Mhm.
They said not to come. Okay, I respect your wishes and let it be. I think the bigger problem comes from the parents and the siblings. You don't have much problem with persons outside because you can always
Mhm.
ignore them, but the bigger part comes right from the in-laws,
Mhm.
mother,
Mhm.
maybe siblings. Um, so that's why it's important to work with your children, you know,
Yeah.
and help them out.
Well,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
important. And see, Doc, this goes back to even what we talked about in our last session, where as parents, if we model to our children or in front of our children what a healthy marriage looks like and
yes, yes.
how it should be run, then when they
Hmm.
find their significant other and married and settled down, then they will aim not to be like me, but at least take some of the lessons that they've learned from their parents, and
Yes,
put that in their new environment. So if
yes.
you come from a broken home or an unhealthy home, more than likely there's going to be unhealthy elements in your marriage that you will need to work on. Um,
Hmm.
and even though there are some unhealthy elements in the marriage, that don't mean it have to stay that way,
That's right.
because there are remedies to heal what is not healed. Did that make
Yes,
sense? Yeah.
yes, it does. Certainly does. You know,
Yeah.
there are remedies. Yes, I totally agree with that. And you know, just it sometimes it just take time. It just take
Yeah.
time. You know, this is something that you're not used to. Yes, we agree, but it takes time, and then you will adjust to it, and then you should be okay. You know,
Yeah.
so I applaud the couples that stand together, united in their I wouldn't call it fight, but their desire to have
Hmm.
their in-laws come to them at a certain time or by notifying them in advance. So
Hmm.
if I know my mother-in-law is coming um, next week, I'm going to give all air and attention to when she comes. That's all it
Hmm.
is. I'll put everything aside because she's alerted me, she's coming, and now
Uh-huh.
I am going to be ready to maybe take her wherever she wants to go.
Yes,
Just be
focus
with her.
on her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but don't expect me if I'm working, you pop up and I must drop what I'm doing and cater to you. I really believe that we need to stop being selfish when we
Yes.
just pop in and that is okay. Doc, as we have reached the end of our program, um, you know, this topic really can go on. So give us your final thoughts on this topic and before we close out.
Okay. Should in-laws call before visiting? Yes. Even though they may even have like we do in our as we fly, dog, pre-clearance. Um Pre-clearance doesn't mean that you could just walk on the flight. You still have to buy your ticket. You still need your permission, even though
That's
you
right.
have pre-clearance, because
Yes.
you don't know what was planned for that day. You don't know what that house have in store to do that day. So a simple call to say,
That's right.
I'm thinking about passing by. Is that okay? I think that says a lot to the union, that this person wants to respect our union, that they value our boundaries, and they are okay with that. And you find that
Yes.
people who have boundaries and teach people to respect their boundaries, they do the same.
Hmm.
So they will respect your boundaries and they would honor what you say. So I encourage couples that if you are dealing with this problem, either you talk to your family, or both of you talk to them together, letting them know that
Mhm.
these are the limits and the parameters of this relationship, and we want you, and say it in a nice way. We want you to help us get closer together and to help us grow in our love for each other. If you honor us by doing these particular things, don't call us after 10, only if it's an emergency. Don't just stop, don't just pop by the house. Um, Call and find out if it's okay. And you go through the list with them and see what they do. And if they don't want to adhere, then it's clear that you say to them, okay, then, so don't come around at all.
Mhm.
And you move on.
Well, yes, very well said, Dr. Alvin. And I could hear some of our listeners in the background saying, well, then you should call before you come to my house, mothers, parents now. But listen, grandparents, they also want you to notify them before you bring those grands over.
You
So
better.
now we all understanding each other. We are understanding each other. You know,
Yeah.
all it's all a matter of working together,
Mhm.
because you could imagine if Grammy wants to go out and you bring the baby to her and she's about to go out, that can be a problem. So
Mhm.
let us help each other. And like Dr. Alvin said, a mouthful, if we work it together and work for each other, it would be a beautiful relationship.
Yes,
And
it
we are
would.
happy that you spend this hour with us. We are not out of content, but we're certainly out of time.
Yes.
So we all agree, yes, call before visiting and just simply make this world a happier place. Thank you for listening to us.